Then for workers, what expected salary is there, that particular salary must be given to them, and there must not be any kind of a partiality. So partiality must not be there. What kind of a work the employees are doing according to their capability, according to their qualities, skillness, according to that only the salaries must be fixed to them. And here, uh, according to this system, the salaries are to be paid on the basis of a work done and not on the time spent on doing the work. In this system, generally two different salary rates can be used. One will be the high salary rate and other will be the low salary rate. And those workers who are able to produce the standard number of units within a fixed duration are paid as per the high salary rates. That means who are doing very effective work, standardized work, those will be given more salary, and who are actually not able to produce the standard number of a work, definitely little bit or less will be paid. For example, sometimes in the colleges we see that to the PhD holders or the professors, they will be paid more salary comparative to the lecturers or teachers, because they have some kind of a qualification, they are very well versed, experienced, so based on their experience the salaries are fixed. So likewise this situation you can also see in case of this organization. That means in the scientific management strategies also you can see these things. Then sixth one is functional foremanship. Functional foremanship. So this one also we have studied. So the form of organization is totally based on the principle of specialization generally, and in a functional organization the work is divided into many small parts, and each part is actually assigned to an expert. In this manner all the benefits of specializations are availed of. That means the work which is there, the work is actually divided into small parts. As a result, what will happen, it will become very easy for every workers of a organization, and this is actually done by the experts. Then seventh one is mental revolution. Mental revolution. So just now what we have actually studied in the principles of scientific management, there I told you that the third principle what we have studied, that is the cooperation between the labor and management is one kind of a mental revolution. Good coordination, good relationship must be maintained between the employee and the manager, or labor and the management. There must not be any kind of a conflicts between the two parties, and if these things are happening, this will be definitely not a benefit for the organization. So the mental revolution is a very big call for a change in the mindset of both the managers and the workers. So in this mindset of both the manager and the worker, it is very necessary that a peaceful environment must be there. Normally, it is seen that a conflict between the manager and the workers will result in division of a profits also, with both the parties demanding a large share of a profit. So this is the main reason why the mental revolution is actually happening. So conflict means definitely parting off, separation will definitely happen. So all these are actually the 7 different types of scientific techniques of management. That means the scientific study of your work, the task planning, training of the workers, then fourth is standardization, fifth is wage, that is salary, sixth is functional foremanship, and seventh one is mental revolutions. So After this one, we move on to the next important thing, that is we were actually studying about the classical approaches, right? In the classical approaches, we have three types, no? Scientific management, administrative management, and bureaucratic management. So in this case, we have finished with the scientific management, first one. Second one is administrative management. Administrative management. So here Henry Fayol, who is the person, he has done a major contribution to the administrative management approach also. Henry Fayol states that his career is being a very significant in this field of this management, and he was actually appointed being the manager of so many important productions and important companies when the company's financial position was very very critical. That time he was also being appointed by the company. He was also being appointed as a general manager, also manager, and in the year of 1918 he has retired. And his observations on the principles of general management they have been appeared in the year of 1916, and he has also written a book. Generally that book was written in the French, but later on it was being translated into English under the guidance of the general and industrial administrations. So basically this books which is written by him, Henry Fayol. So this book contained two parts. The first part is concerned with the theory of administration. The theory of administration, that means how, what kind of a theory means anything which is about to tell you something. Anything which is about telling you, or you can say something about the existence. Okay, that is called the theory. For example, Big Bang theory we will have. Okay, then gravitational force. All these are actually theories. That means something they are telling you. So theory of administration. And the second part with the discussion on training for the administration. So two important things are being included in this administrative management. That is, one important thing is actually the theory of administration, and second being the training. The training for administration. So Fayol felt that the activities of a business which is there, it can be actually divided further into 6 groups. That is, one is technical, second commercial, third is financial, then fourth is security, fifth is accounting, and next is managerial. All these 6 things are very very important activities of a business, which Fayol felt that are very very important. So Fayol felt that the first 5 which are there, that is technical, commercial, financial, security and accounting, these 5 were very well known, and as a result mostly these were devoted in the book. And he has actually classified the managerial group which is there, the last one, the managerial which is there, that is actually further subdivided into some subgroups like forecasting, planning, organizing, coordinating, commanding, control, all these things. So here we can see these 5 things which are there: technical, commercial, financial, security, accounting. All these are actually written in one book of this file, whereas the managerial, which is it is actually included in the another book, and this one is further subdivided into some types, like we have this forecasting, then planning, commanding, organizing, coordinating, and control. All these are all these are actually subgroups of the managerial. So here each one of this having its own method of explaining the administrative management. So forecasting, that means predicting what will happen in the future if they are actually putting this particular idea. Planning, how they are planning the work. Commanding, what kind of a commands they are actually giving, and how they are organizing this one, and coordinating with each and every employee, and that too with the control, how the work is being properly being controlled. So FIRE has contributed very richly to the field of this management. But here in this case, sometimes administrative knowledge needs skills and also experience. With less skill, less knowledge, no one can actually do his best in this managerial section. So becoming more skillful and technical knowledge and work experience is also very important. Especially you can see this administrative management in the schools, colleges, hospitals, such kind of things. So some of the major thoughts which FILE has greatly inspired, being like the universality of the management. That means, see, wherever you go, the way of doing the work at school will be same. It's not completely different. Of course, little bit of a changes will be there, but there is a uniqueness, universality of management. And here, the authorities who are there, they are having a particular position, some responsibility, and here they are actually there to fulfill the goal of a company or an organization. And the span of control for a manager should not generally exceed more than 6 years. So one person should do only one kind of a work, and every employee should be informed about the authority and responsibility in doing any kind of a work. So this administrative management is very significant, especially in the schools, colleges, sometimes in the organizations also we can see. So administration department means being receptionist at the hospitals, or any kind of a you can see in the schools and colleges when the admin department will be there. That means office in charges. All those actually comes under this administrative management. How the school is run, how the colleges is being run, that is administrative management. After this one, you have the third one, that is bureaucratic approach. So this bureaucratic approach or bureaucratic administration also you can say. So and a very important person called as a Max Weber. Max Weber. He is actually called as a father of bureaucracy. He was actually a German person,